There was one detail that made people stop scrolling. It wasn't the headline. It wasn't the shouting online. It was the silence around it. Because when a story about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle begins with an alleged announcement, most people expect the usual royal drama. A palace source, a strained marriage rumour, another argument about the past. But this one moved differently. It did not start inside Buckingham Palace. It did not start in California. It started with a name that has followed Meghan quietly for years. Marcus Anderson. And suddenly, the question was not just what Harry was saying. It was what he had finally heard. For years, Meghan Markle's life before Prince Harry has been examined like evidence on a table. Her acting career, her years in Toronto, her friendships, her first marriage, her rise from cable television actress to Duchess of Sussex. But every so often, a rumour returns with a sharper edge than before, claiming there was more hidden behind that Toronto chapter than the public was ever allowed to see. This time, the whispers became louder. Not because anything had been proven, but because the allegation was too explosive to ignore. Online claims began circulating that Meghan had not been fully honest about her past. Some claimed she had been married more times than the public record shows. Others pushed questions about her age, her relationships, and her connection to Marcus Anderson, the Soho House figure who became one of her closest friends during the years she was filming Suits. And then came the part that made the rumour dangerous. People began attaching Prince Harry's name to it. They claimed Harry had made a huge announcement about Meghan. They claimed he had finally confronted what had been hidden. They claimed the marriage itself was now being viewed through a completely different lens. But royal stories are rarely simple. And this one had a strange problem from the beginning. If the claims were true, where were the records? If the alleged past was so dramatic, why had it not surfaced during the most intense media scrutiny Meghan had ever faced? And if Harry had truly made an announcement this serious, why was the world hearing it first through rumour pages and not through a direct statement? That is where the story begins to split in two. On one side, there is the official version of Meghan Markle's past. She was previously married to producer Trevor Engelson before marrying Prince Harry in 2018. Her age has been publicly reported for years, and no verified record supports the claim that she secretly had multiple other husbands. Her friendship with Marcus Anderson is real and long-standing, but friendship alone is not proof of an affair. On the other side, there is the internet version. And the internet version does not wait for proof. It builds suspicion from fragments. A photograph here, a timeline there, a friendship that looks too close to some viewers, a royal marriage already under pressure. Then suddenly people begin treating questions as answers. That may be the most revealing part of all. Because this story is not only about Meghan. It is about how badly the public wants to believe there is always another secret. Marcus Anderson became a central figure in Meghan's Toronto years. He moved in influential circles. He was connected to Soho House. He was close enough to Meghan that his name often appears in conversations about how her social world changed before she met Harry. To supporters, he was simply a trusted friend. To critics, he became something more mysterious, someone who represented access, ambition, and a life Meghan rarely explains in detail. And once Harry entered the picture, that mystery became fuel. The royal romance looked polished from the outside. A prince, an actress, a modern love story. But beneath the fairy tale there were old friendships, private introductions, and a past that critics kept trying to reopen. Every detail from Meghan's life before Harry was re-examined, not as biography but as suspicion. Then came the midpoint that changed the tone of the rumour. People stopped asking whether Meghan had a complicated past. They started asking whether Harry had been protected from it. That is a much heavier accusation. Because it turns the story from gossip into betrayal. It suggests Harry did not simply fall in love. It suggests he was misled. It suggests the man who gave up royal life, family closeness, and public approval may have done it without knowing the full story. And that is why the alleged announcement grabbed attention. Not because the claim had been verified, but because it touched Harry's most vulnerable image, the prince who chose love over everything. If he ever admitted that parts of Meghan's past shocked him, it would not just be a marital confession. It would rewrite the emotional foundation of the Sussex story. The public would not hear it as one couple's private crisis. They would hear it as the moment Harry realized the life he defended might not have been what he thought. But here is the part many viewers miss. The most explosive claims are often the ones with the weakest paper trail. A secret marriage leaves records. A legal age discrepancy leaves documents. A confirmed affair leaves more than speculation. And so far, the allegations being spread online about multiple hidden marriages and a proven affair with Marcus Anderson remain unverified claims, not established facts. Still, the damage is already happening. Because in the court of public opinion, doubt can behave like evidence. One rumor becomes a question, one question becomes a theory, one theory becomes a video title. And by the time people ask what is actually proven, millions may have already decided how they feel. For Meghan, that means every old friendship can be turned into suspicion. For Harry, it means every silence can be interpreted as pain. And for Marcus Anderson, it means a private connection from years ago has been pulled into one of the most watched marriages in the world. The deeper issue is not whether every rumor is true. It is why this particular rumor keeps returning. Maybe it is because Harry and Meghan built their public identity on truth, trauma and escape. They asked the world to believe their version of events after leaving the royal family. So now, critics are determined to question every chapter that came before. Maybe it is because Meghan's critics see Marcus Anderson as a symbol of the life she had before the palace. Or maybe it is because Harry's story still feels unfinished. He left one world for another. He defended Meghan again and again. He told the public he had found peace. But the more rumors surround the marriage, the more people wonder whether peace is what he found or what he is still trying to prove. And that is where this story leaves its sharpest question. If the allegations are false, why do they continue to spread so easily? And if Harry ever does speak directly about Meghan's past, will it finally silence the rumors? Or open a door neither of them can close again?